life and I'm living it, sick of the shame that I'm going through. The other side is it came from a fame that just isn't even true. Doesn't matter what I wanna do when the stain is a pain and it's bleeding through. Like a tumor living in my head till it takes the life of someone already dead. The myth inside your head you made of me's not true.
Non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. Good evening, Nathan. Welcome to Non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. It's been a couple years since we last spoke.
Yeah.
I want to congratulate you on the new gig with former Tesla guitarist Tommy Skeoch, and I believe the band is called Resist and Bite.
Yes, sir, and thank you. Yeah.
No problem, man. That single is killer.
You like it, huh?
A lot. I've probably listened to it about 20 times in the last 2 days.
Man, I love hearing that. That freaking makes my heart swell, man. Thank you so much.
That song is so good. It's like, and I hate to say this, and I shouldn't, but I wish Tesla had a song like that good.
Right. Well, they do. They have a lot on file for sure. But you can definitely, you see Tom, you hear Tommy's presence for sure.
Yeah, there's something, I don't know what it is about, I don't know if it's his playing or how he writes a song or his melody. I don't know. I hear Tesla in that, and I can kind of picture Jeff Keith singing that because I have the last few Tesla albums. And Shock was really good. It's just it hasn't been the same since he left, and I hate to say that. I think I'm just a fan of his more than
right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, with every member, every member in every band brings something to the table. When they, when things change, the music changes too. The collaboration's different.
Right.
It's cool. It's awesome working with Tommy because you do get that flair of Tesla, but it's not, to me, it's not, I don't want to say the word dated, but it's not, you don't feel like you're in that era. And that's really what we want to focus on. We really don't want to be dragged into the, remember these guys kind of thing. We'd rather kind of be left out of that and start making new memories, So.
Well, the funny thing is, this kind of you being in the band kind of came out of left field. It was like Tommy had announced he was going to do this solo album last year, and then all of a sudden I was on Sleaze Rocks, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I mean, it was awesome, though, because... No, it was, and it's like, because I'm a fan of yours, and I'm a big fan of the first Blonz album, I was totally stoked, man. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then when I heard the song, I'm like, this is exactly how it should be. So
yeah, that's great. That really is. We're really excited about it. I'm super excited about it. You don't get phone calls like that every day. It's really, really good for me, and it was really good for me too. In the other aspect of, I've been, everybody hits kind of a wall sometimes in their career as far as like creating, writing and so on and so forth. The entertainment side of it for me has always kind of just been there. It's like flipping a switch on, it's just something that I've been doing for so long that it's just pure pleasure in doing that. But the creative side, that can come and go, you know what I mean? Yeah. And when me and Tommy, dude, it was so spacey, man, because he pulled up to my house when we were going to go to record. He drove up because he had beer with him from Florida.
Yeah.
And he literally, dude, picks me up at my house, and I'm like, it's like so surreal, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
He picks me up, spend literally 3-4 hours in the car on the highway together, just me and him, not even really knowing each other at all. And, he's just so open-hearted like that. And just, it's such a great guy. We're in the car and he's putting in disc after disc after disc, and he's playing song after song after song. He's like, listen, I got this, and I got this, and I got this. And the thing that it did was, I think it really kind of jump-started my motor again. And because I'd hit a wall for several years of just being creative. I couldn't find it, and Tommy opened my floodgates, man. So now we're tracking and tracking and tracking, and all this stuff is starting to come out. You know what I mean? So it's like brush the cobwebs away, and now all this, this creation's coming up, and it's really, really been an awesome experience for sure.
That's fantastic. When is there a timeline of when the full album can be expected?
No, that's the thing. We kind of got, the pressure of people going, man, I got to hear something. Man, I got to hear something. And we're like, man, this is all demo. Every bit of this stuff is going in and woodshedding and, kind of getting it mixed to where we can tolerate listening to it to continue to work on it. You know what I mean? Like you record stuff and you get some time to let it breathe a little bit, and then go, okay, well, let's fix this or let's do this. You know what I mean? So all this stuff is at demo stage. Haven't even shopped for labels yet.
Wow.
But we're moving pretty fast. We really are, man. We've already got a lot of tracks down. We've got more than an album already tracked. So, we're moving pretty quick. So hopefully this all will really, really happen, as quick as everybody wants it to happen. We definitely want everybody to hear it, but we don't want anybody to hear stuff that's undone. And Myth was actually the closest thing to being done.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, really to give you the short version of that answer is I don't know.
That's okay, and that's okay, man. That's
I could
okay.
have just said that, I could have just been like, I don't know.
No, that's all good. That's fine. I mean,
I want to explain, because people are probably going to wonder and they're going to wait and they're going to go, well, what happened? It's like, well, it's still happening. It's a long process.
Yeah.
So.
Is this?
But we're moving really fast.
That's fantastic. Is it the same material he was working on for his solo stuff, or is that different?
I can't answer that question. That will be a question for Tommy. All I know is he had a bunch of stuff that most of the stuff that I got didn't really had any lyrics or any singing on it at all. Most of everything I got was just instrumental. And the stuff that I did get, Myth actually had some vocals on it from a previous singer that was co-writing with him, and we just scrapped everything and started over again. So,
oh, that's fantastic. So
man, I'm so stoked because I'm co-writing like all of this stuff with him. So,
oh, that's awesome. That's so good to hear.
For a singer-songwriter, it's, for me, it's and I got to tell you, Tasha, again, I'll go back to what I was saying earlier. To be in a rut, man, to be in a ditch, creativity-wise, and to have somebody come and just literally yank you out of the hole, and it's like, wow, it really fired me back up, and I'm very thankful for Tommy for that, because he brought some stuff out, man, that I actually really didn't even know I had. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's been fun, man.
That's impressive.
But how often do you get to play with somebody like Tommy? You know what I mean?
No
it's
kidding.
It definitely inspires you.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's so talented. I mean, he's just...
Oh, gosh, he's awesome, man.
Yeah, and so you wrote the lyrics to The Myth I'm Living, or Living.
Yeah.
What was the premise of that?
Well, that's a great question. Dave Parks, the drummer, he had a theory about that song. The whole meaning behind that song is, he could tell you his version of it, but basically to break it down, what it is, some people perceive you to be something that you're not, and you're cursed to either live up to that standard or just be yourself and deal with the facts not adding up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a story he's got of there's some guy back in some time ago that was considered a legend for doing a bunch of things, and he was actually a criminal, I think. And he was like, there's a lot of things I did, but there's a lot of things they're saying I did that I actually didn't do. It's like you build up this, this version of somebody, and then, you're cursed. You either live up to it and live a fake situation, or you be you and just, face the consequences, but
yeah,
that's basically what it is. And he had somebody that was working on it with him, and it just totally came out about a chick or something. It ended up being a song about a girl or something like that, and that's really not what David was trying to get across. But I got what he was saying. I knew what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
So I rewrote the song to keep the same meaning, but all the lyrics from mine.
Cool.
And the chorus is Dave. He really wanted that to be said, So the very end of the song, the myth I'm living, that's why that's stapled at the end of the track,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically what it's about.
Yeah, and that's cool because that ending is really neat. Like where you're saying the myth I'm living is at the end, and that really stands out. And it's kind of a key part at the end of the song, which is cool.
It is, man. It's so funny because Dave, boy, if you could have seen him in the studio when we were getting to that point, it was like somebody fired a starting gun. He's like, yes, yes, yes. It was great. It's cool when everybody in the room is all psyched up and just really energized by something that turned out the way we wanted it to turn out.
That is so cool. It
is.
I mean, I heard it, and I a couple weeks ago, and I checked it out. But then yesterday, I was like, I gotta listen to this again, and then it was just like over and over again. It's like I gotta hear that song again, man. So I'm so stoked for an album. Like I cannot wait. So
I'll tell you, man. I will tell you this. This is gonna be a fun thing because it's almost like, and please don't read this the wrong way. I'm not saying that we are anything like them, but it's almost like a freaking Wings record, man. There's songs with piano tracks. There's songs that are like super heavy. I've been recording stuff with him that I never ever thought that I would approach. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
But it's all over the place. Like I said, I think in that other interview that it's not some dartboard that you're going to hit the same thing every time. It's going to be something different. Each track's going to be a little different. I mean, it's all rock and roll for sure, but Tommy's got a very wide range, man. He really does, and I think this is his opportunity to express it, and I'm right there with him. It's so cool to be in a room with a couple cats that everybody's on the same page without trying. You don't have to convince somebody of it.
Yeah.
It's like, I get it. I see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think you'll dig it.
I kind of think too when Tommy was in Tesla, and I think people forget that they had quite a bit of diversity as well, because you take a song like Paradise off of Great Radio Controversy that was a total piano song that was so cool.
Right.
And there's stuff on Bust a Nut I was listening to Bust a Nut as well yesterday, and I was like, oh man, I forgot about this song, and it's so different. They were kind of like, they're a little diverse too, so I really look forward to see what he's doing, what he does, what you guys do.
Right. Yeah. I'm like you, dude. I applaud that in bands to see somebody just, not put a governor on what it is they're doing. There was a time, you and I both are well aware of this. There was a time where labels would get a band like that and they just didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
We don't really know how to market you. And it's like, what do you mean? Just put my music out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let the people market me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And luckily Geffen was good enough with them to allow them. You think of the acoustic album, which was totally kind of unheard of for a hard rock band to do.
It was.
You know what I mean? And that kind of got that whole thing going with the MTV Unplugged because it was so cool.
Right.
I think my buddies, we probably listened to that thing over and over and over again.
I did for sure, man. It was like when I did this acoustic thing with Frank last year. He had invited me to come do a show with him, and I did. And let me tell you, man, to get up and sing like love songs.
Yeah. Oh man.
And you turn and look over there, and there's Frank Hannon. He's standing right beside you, and he's smiling, going, "Yeah, dude, yeah, dude." And it was like so surreal. And now, like, I'm in the studio, and I've got Tommy walking in the vocal room, in between doing stuff, and the door opens, and it's freaking Tommy, and he's like, thumbs up, and like, keep going, I love what you're doing. And it's like, it's just surreal. It's still a little bit hard to swallow right now.
Well, man, good for you. I love to hear that you're excited about it. So,
oh, for sure.
That's fantastic. So moving forward on this a little bit, I'd like to discuss the first Blonz album, or the Blonz album.
The only Blonz album.
The only Blonz album.
Yeah, the only record.
The only record. This year's the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
which is hard.
Same with Lynch Mob. The Lynch Mob's 30 years too. That's why Tony and George and them were out rolling. So that's cool too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fantastic as well. And I wasn't going to mention Lynch Mob because I didn't know if it was a touchy thing or whatever.
No, not at all. Listen,
Okay.
man, people, when I get that question, like, why aren't you with George right now? I'm like, well, me and George, it was just a conflict of schedule, and that's really all it is. Listen, I love him with all my heart, man. He's one of the sweetest guys, intelligent, funny, extremely talented. I mean, he's George Lynch, you know what I mean? And people, they're like, aren't you, a little, sour about that? I'm like, man, I got to play with George Lynch for 2 years. No, I'm not sour at all. I'm extremely lucky and blessed to have been able to do that. And that was another part of why I'm where I'm at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a helpful push into getting me back into being at least visible for somebody to see,
Right.
So no, I'm totally, and I'm super excited about it because I'm an Oni fan. People are like, they bring up the issue, all that. I'm like, man, you're talking about Andy Logan. Come on. He's the reason, him and George are the reason why you guys even hear that music. So I'm just as much a fan as I was a member of the band. So I'm one name on that list, buddy. You know what I mean? And you got to thank God every day for stuff like that because it doesn't come around. And when it does, you got to take a hold of it and be glad you had it. So I'm not sour at all about Lynch.
That's good.
If anything, I'm honored that I got to do it.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. I mean, like you said, it's George frickin' Lynch.
Yeah,
I'm a huge George Lynch fan, so I mean, I'm a huge Lynch Mob fan.
Not like
so
Tiny Tim wanted me to go sing with him, you know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. That's cool.
Although I'd have my work cut out for me on that gig.
Oh, that's funny. So getting back to the Blonz, it's funny. I actually, after all these years, I finally got it on vinyl about 2 months ago, and it sounds great on CD, but on vinyl, it's vinyl, right? It sounds amazing, and I love it. But I'd like to go track by track. But before we do that, I actually wanted to ask you about the cover. I mean, there's two things that stand out on that cover, and that's the Blonz ring.
Right.
And what looks, I'm assuming that's a tattoo on an arm?
Yes, that's actually Aaron Tate's arm, the drummer's arm, my ring, and the bass player Mike Vandina's hand. So it was like 3 different entities on the front of the album.
Huh. It's kind of,
yeah.
I mean, it's a good conversation piece. Do you still have that ring?
I do not. That ring actually broke in half and just, in time disappears,
Yeah.
So, but I actually don't have that anymore. It was a gift from somebody, and they had it made for me. So it was awesome to have it. But I think I had one half of it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think there probably might have been a girl involved in this situation, but I had one half of it, and then it just, I'm walking around. I'll go through, you go through your things, sometimes your junk drawers or your jewelry boxes at the house, and something you're like, why do I have this? You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
But you hold on to it for sentimental value, and then after a while, it's just like, okay, it's a piece of silver,
Yeah, and that's true. But I mean, for that, there's such a significance to that. I mean, that's a big piece of your history, right? Like your life was that album.
Sure.
So that's why I wanted to ask. I was just kind of curious. Right. So getting to, sorry.
It's right where it belongs. Wherever it is, that's where it belongs.
I mean, it's in an album cover forever, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's kind of cool to see the vinyl because it's bigger, and you get to see,
right.
That's a great thing about vinyl. More detail.
Oh man, yeah, no doubt. And there's no sound like that either, dude.
No.
Like an old Boston record, you put a Boston record on vinyl and you play it, and it's just there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, that whole analog thing, and just it's been nice to go back and buy vinyls that I've had on CD for years, and then put it on and go, oh yeah, that's how it used to sound when I originally had it.
And we actually even did that record on 2-inch. We tracked it on 2-inch reel, which we were right at the turn. We were literally the last band, us and Firehouse, I think we're the last bands for that department at Epic to have vinyl made.
Wow.
They stopped we were like literally some of the last cats. There was a batch of bands. I can't give you all the names.
Yeah.
We were the last run, and they stopped making them. And we also recorded, like most people that were on vinyl, we recorded that way. It wasn't really digital. It wasn't, when all that stuff started changing around.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to get on 2-inch, and it definitely made a difference,
It totally does. And I believe my copy's actually from Europe. I think is where
Mine is.
Yeah.
I got 10 copies of that record it was cool when we went to the warehouse, when everything was done and everything. We're up in New York, and they're like, we get to go to the warehouse, and they literally handed us like duffel bags and said, okay, go through and y'all can just, take whatever you want, grab that CD or that. I mean, it really was at that time was cassettes mainly, but get that cassette or grab some vinyl, blah, 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 because it's going and it's not coming back, So we all go in there, but they gave each member of the band and management, they gave each one of us 10 records. We all got 10 albums apiece to give to family or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I just spaced out to it was mainly family that got mine. And I had, 3 or 4 of them left or whatever. And, people would come over to our house and, we'd have parties and this, that, and the other. And, buddy, they just got going. They just got whatever, dude. It's all good. But then I actually got one. Steve actually bought me one for my birthday, and it came from France, I think. France or Italy or somewhere. So, yeah. We literally had to buy our album again and have it shipped to us just so I could say I had one.
You're probably not the only guy, though. I mean,
no, not at all, I'm sure.
I mean, I always ask that question. I was like, do you have a copy of it on vinyl? And a lot of guys go, nope.
Yeah.
So
it's sad, too. It is. It's sad. But it's funny. I do have a couple cassettes. I've got this big road case downstairs here in my house that has, like, my mother, God bless her soul, God rest her soul, she kept all the magazines that we were ever in. She got every one of them. And at the end of all of it, she says, I have some things for you at the house. So I need you to come get them. This was not that long ago. I don't know, it was about 5-10 years ago. Well, I'd say more like 10 years ago. And she opened up this thing, and it was just flat full of all that memorabilia from that time in my career. So I got all of that, and I've got cassettes. I've got Blonz, cassettes. I've got some of the, some of the advertisement CDs that they were putting out to radio stations that that you couldn't buy, you couldn't get. I've got a couple of those, but that's about it,
That's cool. I have a friend, a good friend of mine that was signed to Capitol, and he actually has nothing. And I somehow I had got a hold of a press photo and the whole press package for him. Like, not for him, I had it for years. And then when we got to know each other, I was like, Kevin, here you go, man. He was in the band Slick Toxic, which was kind of, they were on Capitol Records up here in Canada.
Right.
And they did very well. Right. They had four videos on our MTV, which was Much Music.
Right.
But he didn't have anything. So I gave him that, and hopefully he still got it.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, they never released their album on vinyl. It's only on CD. I think the only thing he has, they actually went gold in Canada, and he still has his gold. It's not a record, it's a gold CD, but that's pretty much all he's got. Which was, it's kind of unfortunate. But he said, you know what, we didn't think about that when we were.
Yeah, you don't think it's ever going to end. You know what I mean? You think you're Bon Jovi the second it happens, and it's like never going to end, and it sure as shit does.
Yeah.
It ends quick, pal.
I know, and they're the same thing. Like they were on Capitol, and then all of a sudden Capitol EMI came and said, you know what, the floor is falling out from under you guys, and
yeah. I've been on a carnival ride that lasted longer, man.
Exactly. That's so true, man.
And at some moments of it was a little more fun. Definitely a lot cheaper.
Oh man, that's man. So getting the material. of course, let's start with Miracles. Great opening track. What I find interesting about the album itself is the fact that the material is there's a lot of diversity on the album.
Right.
I think that track is more kind of listener-friendly hard rock. And I hate to do it, but I do get the talk back in the day was the Bon Jovi comparison.
Yeah.
And that
That's
keyboard.
not a bad comparison, I think,
No, exactly. And I think that's a great thing.
Not meaning that I agree, but, sometimes people, it's always that thing. It's like, well, who do you sound like?
Yeah.
Some people get offended by that. It's like, can't I just sound like me? It's like, I take that as a compliment. If someone's going to compare me to somebody that's successful, then I think that's not that bad. You gotta take it for what it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I mean, that keyboard line in there too kind of has a danger feel to it as well to me when I'm listening to it.
That's so funny because those guys and us, we were label mates.
Right.
We were both on Epic Imagine with Lenny, and John was actually how we got our deal. John Bon Jovi was extremely influential in how we even got signed. So
that's great. Now tell me, I mean, in terms of this song, did the label have an influence on that song at all of how they wanted it to sound? Because it is a little bit poppier than later in the album kind of thing, or was that something you guys were already doing? That song.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. That song was actually a little edgier. And it got popped up a little bit. The original run on that, we had two different mixes for that song.
Right.
And the Brendan O'Brien mix was much heavier. It was a lot more guitar influenced and less key influenced. And then when Steve and Phil wanted to manipulate it a little bit, it became a little more key influenced, and rightly so. The people we're talking about, Kansas, they're not more of a guitar. They're not quite the guitar band that we wanted to be. So you could hear that kind of push on that, and it did lighten it up a little bit. I think I agree with you on that. But yeah, and the mix that we actually liked the most, it was a lot more aggressive for sure.
Yeah, and I just get that from that song. It's almost like, what's funny about it is it's almost like it's a great song, but it's almost like it doesn't fit for some reason. And I think that's the mix.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is we have about 4 other tracks that are in that kind of vein that Lenny, our A&R guy, said that he wanted to save for the second record. He's like, no, we're not going to put them on this record. Let's put that one on. We already got some go-to tracks for that second record, and let's leave them there, and we never got to do them. We actually have a recording of them, and when Demon Doll Records re-released the album last year, or whatever year before, it's on there. It's called No Way Out, but I think it says Bright Lights, Big City.
Yes. Listen
to that. Yeah, if you listen to that track, and you play that and Miracle side by side, you'll see.
Ah, that's interesting. I did know about that reissue, and I think that song's on YouTube. I think someone's put it on YouTube.
Right.
I'm gonna have to check it out because I haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's a cool tune, man. I think it's still a little underdeveloped because, again, what they did was they let that track go, and it really wasn't finished. You know what I mean? It really wasn't finished, but it was, I guess, in their eyes, good enough to allow somebody to track it. So it's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
It's all good.
Now getting to Hands of Love. Now, Joe Lynn Turner had a part in writing that song, and there's another writer on that song as well, right?
He wrote it in title. Yeah, that's Joe Lynn. Oh, that's him.
Yes, and you know what's funny? I actually, it's funny that Joe Lynn Turner has a song on the Silent Rage album as well, which kind of was like around I think it was 1989. And it's funny because when you hear both of those tracks, like kind of, if you listen to them both, you can hear Joe Lynn Turner on both of them, which is really cool. He's got that style of writing, right?
Yeah, for sure. He's killer, man. God, I mean, what's nothing like? That's like the Lynch thing. It's like, he's Joe Lynn Turner, man.
I know, exactly. That's just it. He is Joe Lynn Turner. Was there any, did the band ever have any discussion with him about that song and what his perception of how he kind of wanted it to be, or did he just like give it to you guys and just go with it?
Yeah, that's exactly what we got. He said, just do your thing.
That's cool.
And it really actually wasn't him. It was kind of indirectly from him. You know, it was just Lenny, PCR, and, you know, the guy that signed Danger, you know, he was like known for being the Mr. Ears of the music industry. You know, he signed Cheap Trick in Boston, and, you know, Alice Cooper, these really big people. And so his influence still is, I think, you know, pretty great, you know, around being in bands and stuff like that. People really respect him. So I think it was just handed to him from Joe, and we used it, and we didn't even speak to Joe until after the record was done. And it was just basically him just acknowledging that we did a good job on it. So yeah, he really did. He didn't come into the studio or press any buttons or point any fingers at all. We got the track, and he's like, "Y'all do it your way," and we did. It's a great tune. I love that song.
It is a fantastic tune. Now,
I love that whole record. That's a good record, man.
Man, it is so funny because, and I have to admit this, I had the CD forever, and it just kind of got lost in the shuffle. I have so many albums, and then when we initially did our first interview 2 years ago, I pulled it out and put it on, and I ended up in my CD player in my car probably for 2 months straight.
That's awesome. That's cool.
It was like, how the hell did I miss this album? Like, what the hell is wrong with me? But
yeah, that's awesome, man.
And then so I ended up hunting down the vinyl because I had to have it, and so now I'm like a huge fan, and I know every song, and I know all the words, and you know, it's just one of those things and sometimes it's so great that I find music from the era that I didn't find before, and it's like it's fresh again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I catch myself in that same place, dude. There's really, you know, 80s and 90s, even including grunge, all that stuff. That was just a music. Yeah. It was a music place there, man. And just like the 60s and 70s, it all holds its own, you know.
Yeah, and you know what? It bothers me. It bothers me when people say that. Like, I'm going to say, for instance, my wife will say to me, "Well, all those bands sound the same." I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, no. I don't think so at all. And I don't think you're getting the depth that is actually there, because there's a lot of versatility, and there's a lot of depth, and there's a lot of really good musicianship that we're not getting today. So
no, it's all kind of bleeding together. It's such an overflow, because you know, now everybody can make a record. You know what I mean? If you got a basement at your house, hell, you don't even need a basement anymore. If you got a place where you can close the door and not be disturbed, you can make a record.
Exactly.
You know, it's like my bass player in Pandora and Pandora's Box. He's so funny. Trent goes, "You know, there's good news and bad news." And I'm like, "Well," he goes, "Well, the good news is you can make your own record." And I was like, "What's the bad news?" He goes, "You can make your own record."
It's so true, man. You know? Oh my goodness.
Everybody's a damn rock star now, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, anybody can be a rock star. Hey, just put your music on YouTube and you can be a star, right?
Yeah, and you can be a star, you know? You get enough bikes and you actually start making money. You know, it's crazy.
That drives me crazy now. When they got 1 million views. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, okay.
My kids are so high on all that. They, you know, everybody wants the quick fix, you know. They're so high on all that. They're just like, this guy, I love this guy. He's freaking on YouTube. He's a YouTuber. You know, now they have, there's term, and it's funny. But, you know, you and me, we can go back to our teenage days, and I promise you, we both have something that was drilled in our ear by our parents saying the same thing. It's just a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it probably was. I mean, but if you got 1 million views, you don't get a gold record or a platinum album. Yeah, unfortunately, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, man. And you know, props to you for saying that, because it's true. You know, it's like there's something to be said about earning your keep. You know, and
that's right.
I think everybody just comes so quickly now that it's not appreciated. I think is the best thing to say.
I mean, I'm sure you guys put in a ton of time and a ton of work to get that record label. I mean, to get that, to get a record put out.
Yeah, it's see, that's so funny you said that, man, because it happened so fast. I mean, within 7-8 months of knowing Steve and Dennis,
Wow.
the three of us are the main entity. Within 7 months of literally being at Steve's front door of his apartment, we got a deal. But I think a lot of it is, and I'm not saying this is going to happen the same way, but when I came to Steve and Dennis, they already had so much material, but they didn't have any. It wasn't finished. It was, he needed some lyrics here, or needed some entire lyrics here, or, Dennis needed some, wanted me to help him with some lyrics or whatever. Dennis is an incredible songwriter, but we just needed that collaboration. They needed that other entity to finish this up. So it wasn't like we just started writing together the day we met. I had material that I had brought with me, and they had material already. So, within a couple months of putting the program together, we were already out hitting the streets and playing the city in Atlanta, and we had a record worth of material to play, and we were on fire. And, our management already knew people in the industry. So for us, it kind of happened pretty daggone quick, but when we started the process of making the record, the toughest part was, again, like you and me are joking about the fact that anybody can make a record. Well, back then, it took longer than a couple days to track a song. You know what I mean? There was a lot involved. So we're like from 89 getting signed in 89, it was like, the end of 90, almost 91 when it came out. And so that whole entire time, you're like biting your face off trying to freaking get this done. And you just, it's like a pining, you're just like, please, come on, let's do this. And by the, it took a lot to restrain yourself and to stay focused and to, man, I was 19, 20 years old, dude,
Yeah, man.
I was like herding cats into a bathtub, it was not easy.
No, I mean, you had to, it's like, and I listen to stuff now and I'm like, did you not take the time to get a good guitar sound, or there is no guitar, right? Or it's like there used to be a process, and a guitar player cared about what his sound was and how he sounded.
For sure. For sure.
And now it's like,
sure.
did you just turned on your amp and that was it,
Right.
And that's what
Steve would spend days in there, dude. He would spend days tracking guitar, him and Dennis both. And I would come in, and you know how you see it, like you're sitting in the studio and everybody's got headphones on but you.
Yeah.
And you walk in the room, I walk in the room and everybody's got headphones but me. And Steve's got the guitar and you can hear the amp in the distance, boxed up in another room. And he's playing something and you're like, what the hell is that? That's not even, I don't even understand what you're doing. And then he'll turn it back, everything gets cut back on, and he pulls the board up and he starts playing stuff. And then you hear that part that he just played, but it's like a very faint memory. It's like just the idea of it, because it's so back in the mix that the idea of it is there, but it's that thing that your mind wanted to hear there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like just this flat out in your face guitar track, but he would layer things like that. And because it was important to him, he's like, man, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing this. And,
yeah,
you're right. It's nobody does it really. I mean, maybe they do. I'm speaking out of place. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out that still are very meticulous and they dig in when they get in the studio. But there's a lot of stuff I think gets blasted out pretty quick. I agree with you. Like all this pitch bending stuff that's going on, man, where anybody can sing now. It's like, my gosh,
Yeah, and that drives me. Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's one of those things that drive you crazy because you're like, and the industry is.
It's like you don't have to work for anything anymore.
No, it's like you have a look.
It'll do it for you.
Exactly. So it just takes out all the creativity of the music or the talent, and
The struggle. The struggle is half of what you're getting. You know what I mean? The emotion in songs, and this is just my opinion, you know, but I think most of everything that you hear, the angst or the anger or the happiness or whatever, comes out in a song, in a guitar track or a vocal track or any kind of track, because it was earned. It was, you know, there was a struggle to get to it, and you really, really want to catch that moment, you know?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's missing now, you know?
Yeah, and it is, and that's so true. It's, I mean, like talking about layering guitars, and I mean, I'm still that guy as a guitar player who, it's like, I remember my buddy Kevin again. I was talking to him, and I was like, I was just recording something, and you know what I did? I heard this from Def Leppard that Mutt Lange did this, and I wanted to try it to see if it actually worked. And he's like, what did you do? I was like, well, I recorded a chord, but I did one note at a time. And I just wanted to see what it sounded like.
Yeah.
He's like, you're crazy. I said, yeah, but you should have heard it because it sounded like this ringing chord. It was unbelievable how, like that trick back in the day from 1986, 87, that they had to do it that way. And to me, it's just genius.
It is. And, you know, back then too, you know, you only had so many channels on board. You only had so many tracks. So then you're forced to ping pong stuff into one down to one track. So all those mixes got to be right. So when you ping pong it down, that you're stuck with that. Whatever that level was when you sent it, that's what it is now. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, recording back then in production was an art form. It was, you know, like cutting tape, and it's just I watched Steve Stokes, the guitar player from Resistant Light. He's the guy. He's the guy behind the curtain. You know, for this band, he's the one that sits at the table with the laptop and all the stuff, you know, all the equipment. Yeah. And to watch him work is truly amazing. It is. This guy moves. It's the way he freaking gets it done, and gets it done so quick, and he knows exactly what he's doing and how he's doing it. And that's that art form you're talking about. It's really cool to watch him do it. It's pretty impressive. Yeah, and those guys that did it back then, and I mean, a lot of those guys are still doing it. They just, I mean, they amaze me. And I mean, sonically, some of the albums that we got, and I mean, especially in the early 90s, where like your Bob Rocks, and they really pushed the envelope even more, right? Right. So, I mean, like you said, it's an art form in itself. So let's get to It's the Same. The intro has a very southern vibe. Of course, you guys being from Atlanta, I mean, that makes sense. When the song kicks in, the vibe's kind of still there. When I listen to the lyric, I hear kind of a message. What were you thinking in terms of that lyrical content on that song? That actually was written by Dennis Ogle, the rhythm guitar player, keyboard player. That's Dennis, and that's actually the pretty much true story of him. He was from Kentucky originally, and you know, that it's just this storyline, you know, that Dennis put down, and a great song. I love that song. That's a great song. And it's basically just, you know, it's kind of the deal. You know, it's the same everywhere. Basically, everybody's kind of, no matter what you do, you know, it's like my dad always says, this is probably the best way to sum it up. My dad says, you know, the difference between the rich and the poor. And I was like, what? He goes, their bills are bigger. That's so true. You know what I mean? That's the only difference. You know, granted, you know, you might have better quality things, this, that, and the other, but you pay for them, you know? That's right. And it's the same as basically that. It really doesn't matter where you go or who you are, man. You're going to have, it's the same. You're going to lose love. You're going to be angry. You're going to be hurt. You're going to be happy. You're going to have great times and bad times. Doesn't really matter who you are or where you're at. So that's cool. And ironically, going to Trouble Child, the intro to that song, it's kind of like, it's almost a Tesla vibe, because you've got that. Oh, that's what you said. It was Tesla inspired. That was an influence. That's where those influences come in. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't copycatted. It was just, we were so taken back by that, you know, that they have, you know, it was just something that we wanted to do. And those guys, Steve and Dennis, really know how to play beautiful stuff like that. And we wanted to show it off, you know? Yeah, because I mean, it doesn't sound like the love song intro, but it's got that same kind of vibe. And then the next
Right.
guitar part sounds like the intro to Love Song. But the cool thing is, the song totally goes in left field from what Love Song
Yeah.
is. Totally different,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
Yeah, the clouds come in, buddy.
Oh, that's so
and
awesome.
that was kind of the vision of that, you know. It's like here's this beautiful sunshine, gorgeous, beautiful thing, and then here comes what looms over, you know.
Yeah.
Here comes the time for the darkness, for the fire to approach, you know.
And that's such a killer tune. The tune's amazing. It's like, it's really, I mean, it's
I'm glad
catchy.
you like that song, dude. That was that was I had a lot. I wrote the lyrics to that. It was a lot of fun.
That is a great tune. Now,
Well,
what's
me
on?
and Dennis, you know.
Yeah, I can't say every song. I love every song on the album. So I mean,
that's so good to hear, dude. That really does. It makes me really happy to hear you say that.
it's cohesive. It has a good flow. The whole thing flows, and it's one of those albums. And like I said, I didn't get into it until a few years ago. And
Right.
it's one of those albums you want to listen to again. Oh, it's done already? Really? Oh man, well let's throw it on again. You know, one of those kind of albums. To me, it is.
I'm excited too because me and Tommy spoke because we're obviously going to be doing, you know, when we play live, we're going to be doing, you know, a couple Tesla tunes. We're going to be doing Blonz as well, and
awesome.
Mr. Natural, which was another record that me and Stephen Dennis made.
Yes.
With some different cats. So actually, Tony, the bass player with Mr. Natural, was the original bass player for the Blonz. So he was the guy that was before the record.
Really? That's
So it was cool to get back in the studio with Tony and make a completely different version of another band, you know. So
That's awesome. I actually loved the album Tommy did as with Jeff Keith as Bar 7.
with Jeff,
Yeah, that was a phenomenal album as well. And it just kind of, it was there, and then Tesla got back together, and you're like, oh, they're back together again, and whatever happened. Whatever happened.
that side project to do kind of thing, you know, which was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a killer album. So, what's on your mind? Really fantastic ballad type song.
Yes.
I go back to the label. Was there pressure from the label to be doing ballads? Did they? I mean, when you guys rock out, you guys rock out. And I really I used to be a ballad guy, and now I'm kind of like a rocker guy. I'd rather hear the rock tunes.
Right. You know, I think we kind of fell in that trap with everybody else. It kind of was. It wasn't. It was an unwritten law kind of thing. You know, it was kind of like it was expected, kind of. So you really didn't. You kind of went in that direction. You didn't really think about it. You're like, well, you know, we're a rock band. Well, we got to have some ballads. You know.
Yeah.
It was just kind of that thing, something the kids could skate to.
Yeah. And you know, the girls always loved it too, right?
Yeah.
Girls always loved the ballads.
And, you know, I'll be honest with you, I love that song. And that song, oddly enough, when, you know, the infamous Napster thing was going on, that song actually got more bites than anything else on that record.
Wow.
Believe it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Napster, What's on Your Mind was like really kind of out of I'm not saying it was big. I'm just saying out of the choices off of our album, that one was hit the most, which I was kind of tickled about because I wrote the lyrics to that song. So it was, you know, it was cool.
That's very
and
cool.
I love the end of that song so much, man. The end of that song so much reminds me of, you're going to laugh at me probably, but it reminds me of Christmas time for some reason. I don't know why, but it's just so beautiful and big and whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, it's just, and it just feels like I'm going home to see my folks for Christmas kind of thing, you know, and it was just cool, man. I like that song a lot.
That is and I love it too. It was, I just remember going back to like thinking about the ballad thing, and you know, I'd have a girlfriend and I'd be like, here, I made you a mixtape, and it'd be like all the ballads by like
all the ballads,
all the bands that I like. Here, I made this for you, and then you know
that's great. I want to make a like a compilation CD and call it Couple Skate. It's nothing but ballads. That's we got to do that, dude. I think we ought to put out a record like, ballads of the 80s and call it couple skate.
Oh, it's still it would totally sell though. All the girls would
It
be
would
like,
totally sell. Are you kidding me? Because all the people that landed our songs actually had jobs and money.
yeah, that's right, exactly. And it's like,
So-
here, or you could bring it home to your wife or your girlfriend and like, here, I
Yeah,
bought you this, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
you did? That's so nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, you cannot get this on Spotify. You cannot YouTube this.
No,
You can't Amazon it. You literally have to go somewhere and buy it.
that would be even better. Yeah, you can't. That's like, and it's not like K-Tel or something. It's like a.
Yeah, by Blammo.
That's awesome. So let's turn over the vinyl. Okay, we're gonna go to side 2.
All right.
The one and only starts off side 2
Yeah.
with a bang. I love the moving riff in that song.
Yep. That's actually one of my favorite songs of all time on that whole record. One and
Yeah.
only was the one that actually got us the deal.
Really?
John heard that song and was like, all right, there it is. There's that tune. That's the one he wanted to hear, and he heard it, and that's really what made him make phone calls for us.
And you know what's
That one and
interesting?
Rainbow. One and
Really?
only Rainbow were the two that made him, that turned his head. So
It's crazy because, I mean, as I was listening to that song today, I was like, I'm listening to it, and there's a lot of different parts, and I'm thinking, I was like, you guys must have worked your ass off on that song because it doesn't seem, it seems like there's a lot of thought put into that song.
There was. We actually, man, here's the crazy thing. That's the song we wanted to release first. That was the initial starting gun song that we wanted to push to release, and we got shot down on it. And I have no idea why. I really don't have any idea why. But that was really the one we wanted to put out first.
And that seems funny that you get signed because of that song, and then they don't want to release it as a single.
Well, the thing is here's what happened. We didn't get signed straight to Epic. Actually, our first offer came from Atlantic through John.
Okay.
The Atlantic route was what we were going, was Atlantic Records, and then this bidding war started, which we were actually told, don't, and when I say us, I don't mean us as the band. We were young, man. I was watching this game. I was not participating. You know what I mean? I didn't know what one thing or the other meant. And it's sad to say that, too, because my father was the attorney for the Statler Brothers for years and years and years. And my dad, first thing he said when all that was going down was, make sure you send me a copy of this contract. I just want to read it. And I never did. And I should have, but I didn't. And anyway, what happened was the bidding war started. We were told, don't get involved in that. Go with the people that jumped on you first. And we didn't. We went to where we thought the grass was a little greener with Lenny. And, they didn't see One and Only the way that we saw One and Only. But Atlantic did. Atlantic really liked that song. So that's what happened with that.
That's killer too. Huh, that's interesting.
It's all good, you know what I mean? But that's really what we wanted One and Only to go out first. Because we knew it. We saw it, because we were the ones that were delivering the product all the time, playing locally in town. And man, you know how to read a room, brother. I know you do. Anybody, that's got eyeballs can read a room. And if you were to ever see one of our shows before we got signed, we were originally called Dirty Blonz.
Yep.
If you have ever seen one of our shows and you'd watched that show, there was a great response to everything we played, for sure. We were dynamite, man. We were on fire, for sure. And we were really, really, really on the up. But when we started playing One and Only, buddy, when that when that kicked in,
yeah,
you saw the room raise about a foot. Everybody grew about another foot taller in that crowd when that song came out. And we knew it. We knew that was the one. And it didn't get put out that way. Last Call for Alcohol was a great song. Really, really great song. Great theme. Great meaning behind it. Awesome anthem rock song.
Yeah.
But I think One and Only would have been the one that would have gotten us recognized as songwriters, and not so much as just another rock band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I
because
I
it
agree
wasn't
with that.
necessarily so in your face rock. It was rock and roll, but you could dance to it, you can move to it, and it just had this pump. It got your blood flowing,
Yeah, and
And great playing, really great guitar playing in it too. So
that's true. And it's like, and it starts off side 2, and it's kind of like when you turn over the first Skid Row album and hear Youth Gone Wild on side 2. It's like one of those songs that pumps you up. You know what I mean?
And everybody thinks the second side is the one that's all the leftovers,
Yeah, and that's funny. Actually, that I'm going to get to that in a second. So possibly one of the highlights as well on the album is Rainbow. And it's funny because sometimes when I hear the intro, I think, I Remember You and Every Rose. But with that said, it's really not that type of song. It's lyrically, it's a positive outlook.
Right.
And it's just such a cool tune.
That's Dennis. Dennis wrote that. Dennis wrote that song. Dude, I'm telling you, that guy's just an amazing song. Still to this day is. He lives in Texas now, but love him to death, dude. One of the most sweetest, real people you'll ever meet in your life. Great guy, great songwriter. But Dennis wrote that.
It's a great tune, and I mean, it proves. I mean, the two songs that two of the songs we've talked about the lyrical and the songwriting has been him as well, which is so cool. That's good to know. So now we're getting to Skin Tight, and it's funny because you just mentioned that sometimes side 2, there's only like 2 or 3 albums that I love where I turn side 2 and think, you know what, side 1 was really killer, but these songs going forward might be better than the ones that I heard before.
That's awesome.
And the only albums that I think of that are like the first Skid Row, Sleaze Bees, Screwed, Blued, and Tattooed, because I absolutely love side 2 of that album, and this album.
Thanks, man. That's awesome.
But getting to Skin Tight, what the hell is the premise of that? I mean, Skin Tight, Dynamite. The only thing I can think of is like a really hot girl.
Yeah, well, of course, man. That was the whole thing back then. It was like, who was it? Blind T or something, Blonz and Black Cars.
Oh, that's an autograph. Yeah.
Yeah, autograph. Yeah, but you know what I mean. That was just, every record had to have a little bit of that in it, and that's actually Larry Elkins wrote that song. A guy from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Yeah.
Who I met when I did literally the first time I ever got to track with what was called a rock and roll band in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, when I was literally out of high school. I moved down there. I wanted to start a music career. I wanted to be in rock bands, and my oldest sister played in a band down there.
Yeah.
And I got lucky enough to get in with all the big guys on the beach. Right out the chute, I got recognized by all them because of my sister, and they all actually thought I had some talent. So I ended up in a studio with some cats, and Larry Elkins was good friends with those guys, and he was down visiting them, and he just took a liking to me, and he's like, dude, he's so cool, man. He's like, He belongs in Vegas, but he looks like Rod Stewart, but I swear he talks like he's trying to sell you a car, but he's so awesome. He's like, man, I gotta tell you, man, I got this song called Skin Tight. I really want you to track it for me, right? He goes, you can use it, man, for sure. Just use it. I just want somebody to sing this song. So I sang it, and I kept that cassette recording of that, and that was when Steve and Dennis, when I met them, like literally not even, I was in Myrtle for maybe the rest of that summer, 3-4 months tops. I was in Myrtle, and I went, no, this is not what I want. I like playing in clubs. I like singing cover tunes and all that, but I'm singing the bands that I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to do this. I want to be bigger than this. So that's when I moved to Atlanta. And when I met Steve and Dennis, the short of it is, when I met them, he said, do you have any material? And I went, yes, I do. And I wrote like 2 or 3 tunes, and Larry and them helped me record them, and then I sang Skin Tight. I sang his track, and I actually still have the cassette, bro. I still have that cassette with me. And
That's cool.
And I gave Steve and them a copy. I didn't burn it, but we dual cassette tapes. You could copy a cassette. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I left them a copy of that, and that's really Skin Tight's what got me in that band. Well, it wasn't a band. It was just Steve and Dennis trying to put together a band. They needed a singer. That's really what got me in the door with Steve and Dennis, which was awesome. And One and Only, which me, Steve and Dennis all wrote. I wrote the lyrics to it, and Steve and Dennis wrote all the music, and that's what got us the deal. So
crazy,
it was cool, man. But I love Skin Tight. Yeah, I love Skin Tight. Oddly enough, I'll take you down another road real quick. When we played we were touring, opening up for Don Dokken, the Up From the Ashes tour, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm touring with freaking Don Dokken, not knowing on down the road I'm going to be singing for George. You know what I mean? Yeah. If somebody would have told me that then, I'd have laughed at him like, you're an idiot,
That's crazy.
But so we were playing at the Boathouse in Norfolk, in Virginia, and I think it's Norfolk or Hampton. Either way, it's right there by Virginia Beach. We're playing there with Don Dokken. Brother, I come out the side stage, and guess who's standing side stage? Freaking Larry Elkins. And I was like, get out of here. And everybody in the band got to meet him. Nobody had ever met him.
Wow.
We made song on I had talked to him on the phone, to get all the publishing stuff straight and this, that, and the other, but no one had ever physically met him other than me. And that was the first time that Larry got to meet the rest of the band. And we're out touring with Don Dokken, and we're playing his song. And man, if you could have seen it, nobody could have been happier that day than him. That was truly a great day for him. It was a great day for all of us. I was like, here he is, the myth, the legend, Larry Elkins. And they're like, wow, it's cool, dude. It was a great moment in time.
That's amazing. Cool. And it's funny, when I listen to that song, I'm like all excited for the drum and vocal part. And then I'm like, oh man, it's over already. I'm just like, because I want it to go on longer. I'm like, I love that part.
Show with that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Start our show with that, with Skin Tight.
Wow. That would be.
Aaron would just start cracking that drum kit, dude. And it was like, oh, that kid, here you go.
Oh, that is so good. Now getting to Sexy Ride. Again, a killer riff. I love how the other guitar drives you've got that killer riff, and then the other guitar underneath it drives with the chugging, the second part.
Right.
What the hell's a Sexy Ride, man? Is it a car?
There's your Blonz and Black Cars, dude. Me and Steve Walsh helped me co-write that. He came over to my house one night, and he's like, we got to finish this tune. I mean, we were making the record, dude. And then he was like, we got to finish this track. We got to finish this track. And I was like, okay. He's like, well, we got to write some lyrics, buddy. Let's get on it. And I was like, all right. So we freaking woodshedded at my house that night. And we wrote Sexy Ride. And it's just basically comparing a girl to a car to,
right on.
It's kind of, it's pretty paper thin, but it's, that's what it was. We just writing about a chick being like a car.
It's so funny that you say that. It's like you can't get away with that shit anymore. It's like people don't get it. It's like it's supposed to be. It's just fun, man. It's just supposed to be fun. Music's supposed to be fun. And,
dude, this world, there's a lot of snowflakes out there now. People just melt when you touch them nowadays. It's just, nobody can be creative. Nobody can be that creative anymore without getting their fingers pointed at them. But it's okay,
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's guys like us that still dig it, and we can still deal with it, right?
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. We can deal with it. Just everybody should be more like Lemmy.
That's right. Friggin' right.
Just be you, man. Just be you, mate.
Just be you. Yeah, exactly.
Don't tread on me. Just be you.
That's so awesome. So now the album ends on Last Call for Alcohol, and you know what? It's so funny. I never focused on the lyrics until I was getting ready for this interview, and I'm listening and I'm reciting it back to myself. And little Johnny's got his daddy's car, grabs a bottle of liquor from the shelf, going to a party, and he's going to be a story. I think it says Johnny's going to be proud of himself.
Going to a party. Yeah, he's going to be a star. I know Johnny's proud of himself. He's all giddy, ready to go,
But does he have an accident? Is that what the last call for alcohol is? Am I?
Yeah, you know, he just took the curve too quick, man. He was, you know, he's a little bit in the wind when he's intoxicated, and
Yeah, and
you know, and that's what happens. You know, you get ahead of yourself, and you become. We used to call it the term of you know, he's got his Superman cape on. You know, when people get a little drunk, they're right. You know, there's that level. We all know it. We'd be lying if we couldn't admit it, but there's always that point when you start drinking until you're done drinking. There's somewhere in the middle of that process where you feel really, really good. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it's just, you're right at that pinnacle moment where everything's good, you know, and anything after that's not so good. But we call that the Superman cape. He's got his Superman cape on, you know, he's feeling pretty invincible.
well, you know what?
Yeah, that's what that is.
And you know what? I kind of thought that was really cool after like thinking, okay, last call for alcohol, whatever. And I was the premise, I didn't even realize it. And I'm like, you know what? That is kind of cool that you guys are like, it was more of a serious topic than, because I mean, it happens, and you know, people drink and drive and they get hurt
every single day. It happens every single day, man.
Exactly. And I thought, you know what? The album's fantastic and it's a party, but at the end of the day, it's like you still got to take care of yourself and you still got to, you know, not do that shit. And
so you can party on, so you can continue to party on. You know what I mean? It's like,
exactly.
I will say there's a lot of things about, you know, this world that we live in now that, you know, that I don't care for too much. But one thing that I think is amazing is Uber. You know, I think Uber has saved a lot of lives, man.
Friggin' right. I agree.
And you know, and you know, let's not kid ourselves either. None of us are above it. Everybody that I know has at one point or another in their life done something that they weren't proud of, or have gotten home and going, "Wow, I really shouldn't have done that." You know what I mean? And we just saw it's cool. The older you get, the more you pay attention to that. You know, and I just think it was good for us to put something out at our age that said something like that. And, you know, the bad part about it is the reality is we probably had done some of that ourselves back then. You know what I mean? So it's not, at least the message was getting put out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, but it's just, I was really impressed, to be honest with you, because I'm like, you know what, this is cool. This is, I mean, because that was anti-80s, really, when you think about it. It was like not a lot of bands would have done that. And I thought that was really cool that you guys did. That you know, you guys kind of had the balls to like, you know what, let's do an anti, you know, drinking and driving thing and see if people actually notice. And I just thought that was really cool.
It was kind of like a backdoor kind of thing. You know, we kind of snuck in around the back door. It was like, you know, this chant that is announced at every single bar that you ever go in, you know, but well, you know, Dennis, and again, there's another one. You know, some of the greater ones that you've heard or that you like is, you know, that's Dennis. Dennis wrote Last Call. I mean, I helped very little lyric-wise. I manipulated a few words in there, but it's all Dennis, and you know, he knows it all too well, and he has a great message, and you know, we were really, really happy to say that we were a band that could walk around. That was cool. You know, it was like we weren't afraid to say it. You know, again, you know, we weren't perfect by any means. You know, we're a freaking rock band.
Oh, who is, right?
You can dance for guarantee. We were out drinking on the weekends, and we were drinking after gigs and this, that, and the other. You know, but it still is it's a positive thing that everybody needs to hear. You know, because not everybody's in a rock band. Not everybody gets on the bus. You know, so.
No, exactly, and that's really cool. And I mean, if you do talk to him, tell him that, you know, like, I really dug what, I mean, he had to say lyrically too. Because
I will. I stay in touch with Dennis, man. Dennis is he's one of those old brothers, man. It's never going to go away. You know, I love him with all my heart. And I'm in a band with Steve currently, so
yeah,
you know, me and Steve play now. So, but yeah, Dennis is a brother, man. Me, Steve, and Dennis, we were the founders of that thing. So you're never going to see the three of us separate. We're always going to be around each other at some point or another.
That's fantastic. So you're still doing Pandora's Box, right? You're still doing the Aerosmith thing?
Yeah, for sure.
That's great, man. That's great.
Oh, that's fun, dude. That's fun. That's a no-brainer. That's like you don't have to recreate anything. You don't have to hope that someone likes your new song.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I told you this, but for about 8 years I was in a Bon Jovi tribute band.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, so I did I was the Richie guy, and I did, and they just actually called me a couple weeks ago and needed a fill-in, so I went and I spent the weekend with them and got to relive my days as a Richie Sambora again, which was a lot of fun.
For sure, brother. And you had fun, didn't you?
I had a riot, man. I
know you did. I know you did. It's awesome, dude. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's, and I don't know how you look at it, but I look at it as it's theater. People are like, it's kind of creepy. No, it's not. I thought it was creepy too at first. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. And then, I had done dinner theater before in the past, and I'm like, I just treat it that way. It's just theater. I'm just portraying someone. So, no different than anybody else on a movie screen does. I'm just, for your enjoyment, I'm going to pretend to be someone else.
Well, yeah, exactly, and that's just it. And I mean, the guys that really love to do it really take the time to, to make it right and to do it right.
Yeah.
And where the people that come to see her, they're just like, if I closed my eyes, I would swear that I was listening to the real thing, or
Right.
And when you hear that, you're just like, okay, job done, right?
Yeah. They did what they set out to do, because ultimately the first 3 seconds of the show, everybody realizes you're not the real thing. So the one thing you really want to get right is sounding like them. That's more important in my opinion. So, but we do our best to portray image-wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's.
Well, we have fun with it, but you're right, dude. I totally agree with you. If you hone the craft, it's a lot more fun, man. It really is, because it brings bigger crowds, you get bigger venues, and you're treated, you're paying tribute to somebody, and if you're going to do that, you should do it the best you can.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was always big on the intricacies of the guitar playing, and
right.
I mean, Richie's got a lot going on too. It's not like, I mean, so does Joe Perry, and I mean, you're using the talk box and you're singing and you're, there's a lot going on, and it's just a lot of fun. And when you really get it down and you feel comfortable doing it, I think it comes across well. So.
Dude, like all of our land gigs, when we do land gigs, as opposed to ships, we do a lot of ships. So when we do land gigs, Steve pulls it all out, man. I mean, he'll roll with 8 guitars to a gig, because
that's awesome.
Perry does, and he's always playing something different, and for a good reason. It's not just for look, but as a guitar player, there's some awkward tuning that he's got going on. So. I mean, Steve's got one guitar that he just plays like one song on, and then he's got another one that he plays 2 or 3 songs on. And, do you want to stand around and wait for the tuning, or you just want to grab the guitar that's already tuned to that particular tune? And it also is good for show. You got a bunch of guitars, different colors, different types, blah, blah, blah. But, he learned after, when we first were rolling like that, he was doing all that, the vintage rigs and everything like that. And then we started doing all this traveling. He's not lugging all that stuff no more. So you got to, there's a lot of stuff for a guitar player like you and him. It's like there's a lot of thought processes that people overlook and don't even think about, Yeah. They don't even think about it. All I need is some scarves for my mic stand. I don't think about anything else.
Yeah, that's true. And it was funny because when I did those gigs a few weeks ago, I used to have, because of the talk box, I would always use, I wouldn't use my vocal mic because I used a different microphone. And
right.
And I used to have this attachment, because I hadn't done it in about 5 years. I used to have this attachment that fit on the one mic stand, and I could do the two to have them, kind of together, but separate microphones. And I totally forgot that. And I got there and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm going to need 2 mic stands tonight, because it's those little intricacies that you have to do when you're doing certain parts like that. So So I totally have all the respect in the world for anybody that does a tribute band and tries to do their best doing it.
Yeah, I do too, dude. I'm not props to anybody that gets up there and does it. It's very respectable, for sure.
Exactly. I mean, there's those that, I mean, I've heard, you know, you hear those, well, why are you doing that? So,
Yeah, there's always those, man. There's always the guys out there, you know. God bless them, you know. But
yeah.
you're gonna do it, go at it, buddy. You know, don't show up to the game without your glove.
That's so true, man. That's so true. Well, Nathan, you know what? It's been a pleasure, man. As it was last time, it was this time as well.
Dude, really, it's been awesome.
Man, and I thank you so much. And I cannot wait for this new project, man. I cannot.
I can't either, buddy. I'm back on that Blonz train again. I'm waiting. You know what I mean? We've got this time between now and the release of something, and you know, so there's a lot of work to be done between now and then. But we'll get it done, I promise.
Well, dude, that is awesome. So, anyway, I look forward to it, and hopefully, I will see you at some point out there with those guys, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, all the best. Man.
Me too, dude. Me too, man.
Okay, perfect. You have yourself an awesome night, and I'll be in touch, and I'll let you know when this is up and posted.
Okay, perfect, dude.
Okay, man. You take it easy.
All
Have a
right,
great
brother.
night.
I love
Okay,
you,
man.
brother. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, man. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
In my head, should I do what they want or what I want instead?